Alright. This is what we learn in Picks and Bans. Game 2, Team Impulse versus Counter Logic Gaming. So, we got this Tristana out here again for a damage threat, and he actually managed to do put a lot of pressure on that Kog'Maw once his range got up there. And I didn't really account for that last time. I was thinking about it, but I didn't think it was gonna matter. And the game got super late, and it was a major impact. It kept Kog'Maw from actually dealing with a lot of stuff. So, all right, we got the team set up here. Vayne is actually not that long range, and Lulu is not that much of a threat. So this is really bad for Tip in terms of threat range. They do not outrange Orianna Burst, and they do not outrange Tristana's auto attack, especially coming into the late game. And that's going to be a huge problem for them. That gives CLG like a really strong advantage here that they shouldn't be having outside of Picks and Bans. Also, dual threat versus single threat. Lulu's not really a strong threat, so we don't really count that. What else? So engage. Lee, Maokai, Braum. That's good. Echo, Gnar. Well, Echo doesn't have the CC engage. Well, it's not really pick, but it's definitely engage. He zones and goes in, so that's really effective. Gnar can always hop in. And Thresh can, bring Orianna in or something after a hook. Versus Lee, Maokai. That's pretty equal. So there's no strong advantage in terms of engage. They both have one champion that goes in, one champion that kind of walks in and uses his movement skill. With a support that can put down some supporting CC and movement stuff. It's not really, there's nothing overall engagey. Super engagey. Well, CLG does have the Orianna ball with Gnar, but that's unexpected. So poke wise, none of these champions really stand out as like poke champions. Orianna, Lulu, kind of, but not really. So we're just giving this a minus because no one really has poke. It's strange. These comps don't really have anything. Pick. CLG definitely has pick. Tip. Braum is kind of like some pick, but not really. Nothing like. He's just not Thresh. That's pretty much it. You're not going to turn a corner and get hit with a Thresh hook and be pretty much screwed. If Braum cues you, it's just not the same. Not the same at all. Alright. So the engage pressure is completely on Tip. They can do it, but they don't have good follow-up to engage. And that's what we're going to kind of get to now. Single threat comp with your normal average range 80 carry Vayne, even though Vayne does a lot of damage. This is not what you want to be playing, just ever. You want to have an 80 carry that has some significant advantage that you can make up for their weaknesses via, the team comp. That's a big thing with Kog'Maw. He's immobile and doesn't have a lot of HP. You pick Lulu, shielding, and speed. So, but Vayne doesn't have the range, so she just has a damage boost, and it's not going to help them too much in fights. And CLG just has to, just dive for Vayne. Unless their jungler and top laner start building damage and they start getting sort of lead like that, but That's not how you play the comp. And CLG can just split, like Pole Belter goes one way with Gnar or something, which probably not. It's usually gonna be like a 4-1 or 3-2 split. But Tip needs Vayne in the lane. Vayne's not gonna be able to stop Tristana later in the game from attacking a turret. Like, I mean, so what's their fight? Tip's fight is Maokai, Lee Sin, and Braum sort of go in, and Vayne balls up to kill people. It's let's break it down some more to see if there's a possible way. Lulu speeds up Vayne, and she buffs Lee Sin with her ultimate when he goes in, followed by Adrian, throwing down all of them. Vayne just kind of shooting people. Probably want to try to get Tristana, but I don't think she's ever going to be in range. And Pole Belter, like, Apollo needs to dodge Orianna ultimate. Apollo needs to dodge everything. That's like the key thing to this entire comp, and that's really bad. In my opinion, it's really bad. You can have a god player that could do it and dodge everything and sort of go super ham with everyone supporting him, but it's not gonna bring anything in. Like, it's just not gonna work. Whereas CLG, like, wait for Trist. CLG waits for Trist's range to become so long that Tip can't deal with, which it's probably around level like 14 or 16. I don't know the exact values, but once it's like 600, it's got to be 650 before it's really too much. Like, really? They're in the yeah. And Pole Belter shields double lift from any sort of damage. Zion Spartan and Afro move just zone for him, exhausting when it comes in. Pole Belter keeps killing people that aren't focusing. Hey, all he has to do is ult Vayne. And Gate better put his shield on him. Gate's the only shield. He's the only shield, which is a big problem. Well, Lisa. But this is looking heavily in CLG's favor. They have the threat. They have some engage. The engage Tip has isn't even that good. No one has any poke, but they have the pressure range. They have more chances to pick. They don't even have to engage. They have like an easier fight, and it's easier. It's almost easier to protect their carry. It's easier for them to protect Tristana than it is to protect Vayne because there's no threat besides Vayne. Like, this is all CLG win. Tristana's having some trouble, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident we can give this an 80% CLG. This isn't like the first game, and I'm not expecting this to be anywhere near as to what the first game was like. It was close and fun. This, probably by like 20 minutes, CLG's just gonna break the fucking door open and crush them. Alright, so that's game 2.